How do you get through each day as a realtor, and what is your workflow? Well, I'm going to reveal mine in this episode. I am going to take you to my computer and show you all the things that I do on a daily basis, items that I check, social media and interest media, platforms that I check, and my processes, so you get a feel of what it's like to spend a day in my life. And some days are 15-hour days, and some days are quick. But I want you to realize that when you do get into the real estate business, it's not a hard job, but you must work hard at it if you want to be successful. Now, because you are your own employee, you can do what you want, however you want, and your income potential is unlimited. But for some, working the way I do might not be the right option. But I want to show you how I go through mine, and you can tailor it to your needs, and hopefully you can stop chasing, start attracting. So welcome to this episode. I'm Robyn Cavallaro. I'm a realtor here in Florida, and I am your reinvention expert if you're getting into real estate, no matter what age. So let's, before we start, I'm going to show you, I'm just going to slide over because I have been on my computer, I'm not kidding you, since about 7 this morning. I do have 2 books available on Amazon. This is Skip the 9 to 5. I've designed this for millennials, younger people under the age of 30 that might want to get into real estate, considering it, how to create a 6-figure income. A lot of great information in here. This is available in the ebook, in paperback, and also this one is actually hardcover. And then for those of you like me who needed to reinvent your life, I have this book, and this is Real Estate is Your Next Chapter, How to Start Over, Stand Out, and Succeed in Real Estate at Any Age. And it truly is possible. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. If this information is important to you, give it a like, because while I'm not sitting in here in my pajamas, I am always talking to myself. And also check out my podcast. I do have a lot of audio version only content, as well as these episodes are available on Spotify and on Apple Music, iHeartMusic, and a whole bunch of other ones I don't even know. But let's get into the material. We're going to go back now to my webcam so I could do a screencast, and I'm recording in Camtasia. I know that was a lot. All right, let's get to it. All right, so my daily workflow. To start I start off with perk coffee. I perk my coffee because I don't know, makes me feel like I have more caffeine in me. And I drink athletic greens because that gives me a lot of energy and a lot of good nutrients that I need that I miss out during the day. So those are the first 2 things I start off with around 6 a.m. Yes, 6 a.m. is when I start. And then, the old-fashioned way, I'll just write on a sheet of paper all the things that I want to do, or that need to be done. And I keep them here, but I also do have my Google Calendar. Everything is on that Google Calendar. I use a program called Calendly, and that's where visitors to my site, they can book a phone call or discovery call. They can book a showing. They can book a home tour, because people in my market come and they power shop. They can also book what I call a campus tour, which I take them around the block. But those things are all available on my site. So I'm always checking my little old-fashioned sheet of what I should do. And then I have also, sometimes I write it in these are one of my journals. I have these on Amazon. You can buy these books. It's online. Some of them are lined, some of them are online, but I always keep this on me. This is normally where I'll make notes for phone calls, things on the road, because people will call me on the road and I forget. So if I keep these notes, then I can go back, oh, what was their name? What was their email address? So I always have some type of notebook on me that I can write it down, because I always can't do it on the phone. Okay, so next step, first thing, because no matter what I do, I still am an active realtor and make money selling homes. I check my MLS, which is Stellar MLS here that you see I go through, first things first, I want to check what came on the market new, any price increases, seriously, price increase, but what's gone down, something that might have been off the market that came back, what's sold, what went pending, what's been canceled, withdrawn, any of that. I go through all of that, and then I start to look at my CRM to see who is looking for what. And looking at that price decrease thing is huge in your market as well as mine, because you might have somebody looking at 500,000 and a home dropped to under where it now becomes viable for them. So you want to keep on top of that. Now, most of your buyers, if they're looking, they have a alert set up maybe on Zillow or something, or even on, if you have your own site, but they might know before you do. But religiously every morning I check to see what has changed on the market. Very, very important. And I'm going to show you here my CRM. This is my website, robyncavallaro.com. And I have a Squarespace website. I did it in the beginning, but I had a web designer, KW Media. She redesigned it about 2.5 years ago when I put the MLS feed on my site. We call it IDX. I'm probably call it IDX wherever you are, but I had to use iHomeFinder as the provider because they were one of the only ones that integrated with Squarespace. Most integrate with WordPress, and I've done WordPress sites before, but they're really more program centric, where Squarespace, like Wix, they're drop and drag. So they're I call them idiot proof, but they're very easy to use. You don't have to be, it's not you're an idiot, but they're very easy to use. So if you're just beginning, you might want to look at that. I always tell everyone, you need to have your own asset, which is your own website. And this is my lead generation. This is where people go to search. And I tell them in my videos, hey, if you're just beginning your home search in the Villages, Florida, you want to make sure you go to my website, and I always post it somewhere. You can search, and you can search by area. And I have my site set up that it's broken into areas that people in my market search. This is very easy for you to do as well in your area. You just map out your community into sections, and you can give it a name, South side, east side, west side, north side. You can call it whatever. Give it your own names. Like I've coined Eastport, the Eastport corridor. And I keep using that phrase. So, you do what you want to do, but this is a great opportunity to differentiate yourself. Your own website is your own asset. And this is where I gather everyone that's looking for homes. So now I'm going to block out their names, but you can see here where I have a pipeline stage. Have they been contacted or not? When they were last active, their engagement rating, which I really don't pay attention to. But if I am actively working with them, I put my name on there. I do let the 2 other women that I work with into the CRM to contact leads, because I get new leads every single day. And we need to keep on top of the new people and even the older ones, because in my market, their situation changes, and sometimes really quick. For example, I could have a buyer in here who says, oh, I'm not going to buy for another 2 or 3 years. And the next thing you know, I start seeing him there every morning. Now, I know something's changed in their life. They could have retired early. They could have left their job. And now they're, millions of things, but now they're ready to make a change. So I need to be on top of that so I don't lose them as a buyer. And then I have tags set up based on their criteria for me to check. But also in their contact, you can see all the subcategories, and I have notes. And this is where I keep track of, as best I can, where they are, what they're doing. If I have spoken with them, And if they've sent me an email, I copy the body of that and I put that in here so I can keep track. It allows me to schedule another appointment. If I need to follow up with them in 3 months, 6 months, they might be coming in for a visit that I have to make sure 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time that I'm reaching out. So I do that all in here. And this takes a little bit of time. I would say I spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes going through this after I've spent about 15 to 20 in the MLS. Then I get into my lead generation or my old-fashioned note to tell you what, because like even on here, I have to go into my banking to pay my credit card. And I'm going to order an item to do a video on, and I have to get all my things together for my income taxes. So I keep all these things here. But what I've done for my lead generation and my social posting is I had ChatGPT, and I use ChatGPT every day. There is nothing wrong with getting assistance from ChatGPT. And I also use Gemini. Sometimes I put the same item into, or the same topic into both. They both spit out different information. And I combine them, and I'm going to show you another program that I use. I have been on the computer for about 4.5 hours working on my speaker and office training deck. So going back and forth between the two has been interesting. But I told ChatGPT to keep track of my content creation and posting. I wanted it to give me a daily on a calendar. 3 times a day I wanted to post, and all the social media channels that I post on, so I know. So here, for example, I've already posted for Sunday. I have all my morning, midday, and evening posts. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are open. So later tonight, I'll go back through my content and post for 3 days. But there's some topics that I put out that I just uploaded yesterday, and I schedule them out, but I check it off so that I know I have everything recorded. Because in OpusClips, and I do have an affiliate link listed below. If you decided to purchase it, I do make some money on it. But this takes my long form content and cuts it apart into short form content. And so I can just put the link. Some of these are my full length videos, but like this here, when I do a home tour now, I do the whole home tour. Then I go back through and I do a 90-second quick tour. That is really easy to post, and it's clean. There are no, like I'll put in, I'll send bars across with information. This is just really clean. A look at the house, telling you what it is, and to click the link below and you'll get a full home tour. And I keep posting those out while I have the properties active. But this is what it'll look like. And I spent about an hour on this, minimum a day. I just take these pieces. Now you loaded it and it automatically cuts it up. And some of the pieces I can use, some of them I can't. Some of them I have to go in and cut them more, or maybe expand on it a little because it didn't pick up quite what I was looking for. But out of all, this was one video I did last night. I posted it on Living Here Under 200,000. And I think out of it, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut up 4 pieces. And I can tell that I did it because I changed the background color to gray, and this is white, but also it tells me I have 5 postings for this. I have 5 for here, 4 for here. So I know they're all posted out. And then I will go back in and I might want to repost these. So I know these are something that I'll use. But so I will, like I said, I will spend about an hour here. This sends it out to whatever social links you connect. So these are the platforms that I've connected. And I think with my membership, I have 2, 4, I'm able to connect 6. I originally had X, but X, they charge you an extra coin or whatever to send it. And I wanted to get my Stop Chasing Start Attracting YouTube channel on there. So I kind of left X out. I will just go in and post something on my own. So that I spend about another hour. So now we're into hour 2. So usually I'm 6 to 10 on the computer, getting ready. Well, maybe 6 to 9:30 because I got to take a shower and clean up. Get ready to go out. So we've gone into Stellar. I've done my lead generation. I am in metrics. So now I want to go through, and I have to do some marketing. And I do everything here in Canva, my open house brochures. Actually, you can see my son works in this too. He has a fishing channel, and you might want to check his fishing channel out. My son's very entertaining. I think you'll like it. But this is where I have all of my thumbnails. I keep everything here. All of my marketing content is done in Canva. I've been using Canva since maybe 2011, 2012. So I've been using it probably since close to its inception. And it creates social media posts. For my short-term rental course, I actually did the deck in here and recorded it all in here and then downloaded it. They do have an AI presence in here. You can create some AI in here, but I use this daily. And I think if you're not using Canva in your toolbox, I am a big proponent of doing things yourself. You can rely on, there's sometimes when you need to rely on others, but having a lender doing social media posts for me or the title company doesn't work for me. It may work for you. It does not work for me because ultimately I'm never happy with what someone else does. Just like I'm sure you can appreciate this. Are you ever really happy when someone else takes your photograph? I know you're all doing this. You're like, yep, that's true. So I am a big proponent of doing it myself, but I will also do some of the marketing for Tina and Katie, and it works out well. So Canva should be in your toolbox. I spend as much time as necessary in here. Sometimes it's day and night, and sometimes it might just be in the morning. Then next in my workflow is ChatGPT. This program and Gemini I find immensely helpful in my business. Now I do everything in here. I ask all kinds of questions and it gives me answers. It gives me content, but I'm going to go into my speaker content. So I spent this morning in these 4 chats. After going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, all right, let's just start over again. So this is trial and error. A lot of times it'll give you information that might not work for you, and you need to keep recreating it. It does take time and effort, but it is incredibly helpful, and I find this part of my everyday. I even use this in the car. So I will, I'll use the app in the car and I'll tell it, I have an idea. Hey, I want to do a video on this. And I just speak it and it starts to create it. And then it saves it in a chat here. And then if it works for me, I move it into one of my projects. And I will do a tutorial on how exactly I use this. At a later date. I just want you to see my workflow. But right now I'm talking about my speaker content topics, which I spelled wrong. I spell a lot of stuff in here wrong because I'm typing so fast. It figures it out. But then lastly, in this workflow, if I have something to do like this, I'm spending quite a bit of time on. It's Sunday. This is my speaker training marketing. And you can see over here, all of the decks that I created this morning, and I wasn't 100% happy with any of it. But some of them it sent back, I could take and upload into Canva, and You can't change what's on there. You can white out things and put it over it, but you can't, like if they spelled something wrong, you can't go in and change it. You would have to redo it, copy it over somehow, but I can take some of the pages, like use this page, use that page, and make my presentation that way. But I'm going to show you, this is the first time I'm looking at this one, as you click slide deck, and here you have to give it prompts to tell what it wants, and you upload all of the documents you want it to look at. Now, this, unlike the other AI, this you can pull a lot of content into it and ask it questions to pull the information together, but it's not going to, in an organic search, pull information for you from the internet. You have to go look for it and bring it into it. And I know this is probably way advanced, but you need to know how I get to be where I am. So this is the first time I'm looking at this actual deck. This is designed for me to send to event planners, meeting planners, association chairs who are looking to book speakers and breakout sessions, where I could do an actual speaking engagement, or I can do a breakout session, or both. And some are just speaking and some are hands-on. But I'm also doing some 30-minute power sessions for brokerages that want to do like a lunch and learn kind of thing, but I'm calling it a power session with topics, just speaking, and also hands-on workshops. I call it Create It. And those can be done virtually or in person. So let's take a look. Now, I had them combine a couple of them, and I said I wanted my photo in there, and I don't know who it was, but it wasn't me. So I had to tell it, use my brand colors, but do not put a space for my image, but do not add an AI image to the deck. So that's what it did. It inserted there. I'm going to pull this into Canva and put one of my headshots in there. So I asked it also to talk about my successes. So the event planner or office manager looking at it knows what my credentials are, what my keynote presentations are, and what items that I can speak about, the topics, the objective, the framework, and the walkout deliverable, we're calling it. But this is all created in NotebookLM, which is free, and it's part of your Google, your Gmail. Look at that. I absolutely am in love with this. Now, I will go into Canva and probably get rid of this NotebookLM. Not that I'm afraid to say I use it, because I teach using these tools, and I really don't care if you know I create it in NotebookLM, because this would have taken me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on top of the hours that I've already spent, or I would have spent a lot of money on Fiverr trying to get someone to do this. And especially if you're new into real estate or struggling, you do not want to spend more money. You want to work more effectively so you can make more money. And this is actually 14 pages, which is probably a little long. Now, like some of this, I might get rid of this page, but once I start to play around with it, actually what I'm going to do is upload this and two others and pull them all together. I'll move pages back and forth. But it's really important that if you have particular brand colors, that you want to make sure you tell them to use it. Now, this, I did a CMA in here. Someone was detected at your front door. Ah, yay. That is my teleprompter foot pedal coming. Now I can use a teleprompter in my studio, which would be a lot nicer. So I was having, I needed to present to a seller of mine why we needed to lower the price. So we went through this pricing strategy, and I gave all of this information to ChatGPT. It printed out the information because that's the process. You have to give it to someone else to print out the process, put it in a PDF, upload it into here, and then it will print what you need. So that's what I did. These are the documents here that I added, and then it created that deck, and I emailed it out to my customer, and it worked very well. This is something else that I was working on, but also this, where is it? Nope, sorry. This is going to be actually now episode 3 of this podcast, Stop Chasing, Start Attracting. But this is the deck that will go out to a broker if they decide to book this session, and how to follow up with their people. This is what this printed out. And this is for how to reinvent yourself, how to build your brand, and this is what you get, and this is what printed out. This is the call to action for that episode. So if you watch that episode, this call to action will be there. I'll give you the link. Drives you back to my MailChimp email, and you have to put in your email. It'll assign you to a list, and you will get that document as a download. And email newsletter marketing is very important as you start to build your brand and your sphere of influence. So here you are in the back office of my MailChimp. Now, I used Squarespace for a long time, but it was a lot less expensive, but is not as robust as MailChimp, and the analytics were not as robust either. But what I like about this, I have 3 campaigns. I have my email newsletter, I have my online course, and I have my podcast newsletter. And this gives me all my analytics for everything that's been sent. So for example, I put this money map cheat sheet out with one of my videos, and I had 1,100 visits, 284 people signed up for my newsletter from that call to action, from that video. 196 people actually downloaded it. Most people gave me their address, but they didn't actually complete it and get the download, but I have their email address, and now they're on my email newsletter. Great way to build and to attract, to build, attract, and maintain your sphere of influence, and everything is right here. I did my email newsletter on my own. I recently turned it over to my beautiful, talented daughter, Savannah Daigle, as she does email newsletter marketing for many businesses, and I was able to get into a slot because she had one that actually she has some extra time that became available, so I jumped on the opportunity to have her because I don't want to overwork my daughter. But I got on her list now, and she's working on this newsletter. She created the template. I send her the topics that I need. She puts it in there and send it out. We figured out that Friday afternoons around 3 o'clock were a really good time for engagement. So my email newsletters go out every day at 3 o'clock, or every Friday at 3 o'clock. I don't inundate my people with emails. I know sometimes I sign up for things and I'm getting emails 2-3 times a week. I don't do that. I would send out another email during the week if there was something major that happened that I wanted to make sure everybody saw, but once a week is plenty. All right, so I think that is going to be it for my daily workflow. So we're going to review, actually, because I didn't get past the internet stuff. 6 to 10, I'm on the computer. After 10 o'clock, I will typically get out in the field. I'm either on a campus tour with buyers, with sellers, listing appointments, previewing homes that just came on the market, because if I don't have clients, I might just go out and look at 2 or 3 new homes that came on the market. So I know exactly, because I have people call me all the time, have you been in here? Have you been in there? So I have some better information than just looking at the photo. Once I'm done being out on the road, I'll come home, get something to eat. Sometimes I just relax. I might go out with my guy friend, or we go watch TV and have some dinner and just chill for the evening. But there are times where I'm on the computer till 8, 9 o'clock at night. So it can be, I do work most 15-hour days. I will not lie to you. I do answer my phone. If I, Sometimes I try not to answer the phone after 8 o'clock. But if I'm working with someone actively, or we're working a deal, or I know there's an issue, I will answer that phone. I've answered the phone at 10 o'clock at night when my customers have had an issue or a question. While we're, if they're really ready to buy, we're working on the contract, I answer that phone. But if it's something that can wait, sometimes I just need a little brain space. I do take personal time. So there are some days, like tomorrow, I made plans to go to lunch with a friend of mine. So she and I are going to go to Ocala, have lunch. I booked my time out. I'll go down to visit my daughter, I'll go visit to my son, spend some time with my grandchildren. I'll book those times off. Typically on Mondays right now, I'm playing a pickleball league, but because hell froze over down here, I'm not playing pickleball, and they'll cancel it because it's way too cold. Like, it was 20 overnight. It was ridiculous. Well, my landscaping is dead. It's crazy. But so I do make time for personal. I play pickleball, I sub playing softball. So I try to do those things just to keep me sane, and to remember that there is a reason why I work so hard, so I can have fun and enjoy this lifestyle here in my community. You need to do that as well. Find the balance in your life. You might not have the time that I have to devote, because I am not married. I do not have family living with me. So I do have a lot of my own time that now I spend doing these things. So just find the balance in your life so you don't drive yourself crazy. Thank you for watching this episode of Stop Chasing, Start Attracting, a place where you come to build a brand, grow your influence, and reinvent your life with real estate. I'm Robyn Cavallaro, and make sure you check this episode out. I think you might like it. And don't forget, you want to get that like and subscribe so you know when the next episode is out. And check out the podcast. As I do put some podcasts that are just audio only, I'm going to tell you why. Because it's really easy for me to just go and record the audio instead of having to make sure my hair looks good and I have makeup on. It's just the way it is. All right, everyone. I will see you next time.